Just a couple of days, not too long, but it was good to spend some time with the family.
Like what are we talking about? Like less than 2 weeks you had really away?
Yeah, about 2 weeks. And we had to start, right away from the third because we have things to do. But it was good to go a little bit away.
How do you feel about how the roster is shaping up at this point, and what, including I guess the signings you hope to expect to make before the start of the season?
Of course, it's always difficult to lose some players. We're very content with everybody in the roster last year, but we have to move forward, and we're moving forward. We're bringing some new players, and we're content with the way the things are shaping up right now.
Obviously, in your first year as a coach, you have to get to know the team, you figure some things out. What changes in the second year? Did you maybe get to, does things become maybe a little bit easier?
There's always has to be changes. You cannot live on the things that you do the year past. But also I think we build a good foundation, so we can build from that. And we have changed already a few things going into the preseason.
Coach, we saw at the beginning of practice the ritual for the new faces. What was it like to work with the new guys that were in practice today?
I think I went around, I asked them, how do you feel? They were excited about being part of the team, starting practice. And now we're able to do the tunnel from the beginning right away. So it was great also that the players said, let's make sure that we do it right away. Let's welcome them this way. So it was good.
How many players did you have in training today? And are there any trialists out there or anyone we should be aware of?
We had exactly 23 players, not counting goalkeepers, field players, and about 4 goalkeepers. And we have a few more that have to come in, and everybody just they fighting for the position right away from day one, and everything I think for first practice it was great.
How do you enjoy the challenge from year to year to mold the team into a successful squad?
I think at this time now it's important for us to be able to build from what we did last year, but also don't stay stuck in thinking that what we did last year is going to carry us through this season. We have to reinvent ourselves. We have to continue to evolve, get better, and the first thing is to prepare ourselves to the first match that we have. We have a very difficult schedule. We have 12 games away from home, so we need to be well prepared for that. And I was glad for what I saw today from the guys in the first practice.
Are you concerned about the short time span between last season and this season?
No, because I think now we have a group that already physically is coming into preseason in a better way than we did last year. So there's things that we can do a little bit different this year because of that, taking into consideration. And the good thing is that the guys already know what to expect. We've changed a couple of different things because always we need to change. But I think it was, as I said, a very, very good first day.
What are you guys going to have to do to prepare for 12 games on the road and to make sure you get enough points from those games?
More than ever, taking one game at a time. I know that it's one thing that I say all the time, but more than ever, I think at this time we have to concentrate about that. We cannot think about the 12 games away and only stay, thinking about that. We have to make sure that we take it one time, one game per time, and hopefully be very competitive. Plan accordingly for each match because we know that it's going to be, different each match that we're going to have, and hopefully we can get enough points. That way, when we come back and start playing at home, we can have a very good situation.
The new playoff system sort of prioritizes the regular season even more than it did before. What do you guys need to still do to continue to grow as a club, to be a club that's not only doing really well at the end of the season, competing playoffs like you were last year, but competing with Atlanta United, New York Red Bulls, the teams that were competing for the Supporters Shield?
Yeah, I think we competed last year game by game, even though we were not competing point-wise to win the Supporters Shield. We want to try it game by game to try to get there. It's our hope always to be the #1 team, but we have to see how the season goes through, and we believe in ourselves, so we compete with anybody.
How are you? How are you different as a coach from approaching last season and coming into practice for a season in the MLS? How did you own this last season?
Once you come back and you know the guy, you've been with the team 1 year, now you understand the personalities, you understand what to expect. They have the ideas clear. You build from a different foundation, as I have said. So I think it's a different situation. Now we have to make sure that we evolve. We need to be better than we were last year, and we need to make sure that we're more difficult to be beaten. So we got to continue to grow.
Claude Dielna is a player you signed in the offseason. What do you expect to see from him and where he's going to fit in? And then how, with Bill and Julio coming back, do you feel like that's going to be a big competition for that center back spot?
No doubt that that's one of the areas that there's going to be more competition. And you didn't mention Mabiala. He's also in competition. So everybody, the four of them, they're competing to try to make sure that they stay steady. I think is four quality players that are going to be chasing every practice for that spot. And we feel very, very comfortable in the player that we've chosen to come in because of the attributes that he has. He's lefty. We know what he can give us. We look for a specific type of player, and we feel that Claude is going to be, that player for us.
There are several players that you guys are targeting to bring in. How important, from your perspective, is it to kind of get all the new players in and be able to assess everyone? I mean, is it hard kind of waiting to bring in some of these players?
Definitely, the waiting is not the ideal situation because we would like to have the players already here working from day one. But if we have to wait to find the right players, then we have to wait. I'd rather wait to find the right, guy or guys than just to rush and bring someone that might not be the right fit. So I always feel that. Nature will take its course, so at the end of the day I think we have to do what is necessary to try to bring the right players.
Gavin sort of talked about, you're looking at a forward that could be versatile and play multiple positions in the attack, and then a right back. In terms of the right back, what's the sort of the profile that you want to see out of the player you're able to get in that position?
We definitely have to bring a right back, as Gavin mentioned, because we need to make sure that we fill that spot also to create a little more competition. But we need a guy that is good going forward, that is balanced defensively, that can understand and is comfortable with the ball, understand what we want to do with the ball, and making sure that we keep progressing, in that sense. So someone that has different qualities than the player that we have right now. That way there's a good competition between the two players. And I feel that, we have some guys in profile, and let's see, which one is going to be able to be the one to come in.
And then the new goalkeeper, where do you sort of see him fitting into the depth chart and that competition with, I guess, Adenel and Clark?
He's a young goalkeeper. I think he's a goalkeeper that, for being young, has some experience. I think he's going to challenge the goalkeepers that we have. And we have to also think about future. And he's a young goalkeeper that has a lot of promise to continue to grow. So that's why we decided to bring him in.